Welcome back to another episode of SmartFoxTV.
Welcome to our segment today where we are going to address the fact that Hollywood has historically ignored black cowboys. For most folks, when we think about Western movies and cowboys, we usually don't think of African Americans doing cattle drives or rodeos. We may think of Clint Eastwood and the many other spaghetti westerns and movies out there. However, back in the heyday of cowboys, at least a quarter of cowboys were estimated to be black. Meaning, if you picked out 4 random cowboys, one of the 4 would likely be African American. Today, we'll cover some of the most famous black cowboys in history. Starting off, we have Bass Reeves, who may be the original inspiration behind the popular 1950s TV character, the Lone Ranger, whom you may also recognize from the movie remake by Disney in 2013, which was an office bomb. Reeves was born into slavery on the property of Colonel George Reeves, but managed to escape into the native-owned Indian territory now known as Oklahoma. It was there that he ultimately created a reputation for himself as a man of justice and worked with native and white deputy marshals. He later became a free man who continued to work there to uphold its laws. At 6 feet 2 inches, he was a strong man and a sharpshooter, and was able to track down wanted criminals like a professional bounty hunter. He was known to even take his time to get to know his targets, and he'd even wear costumes or change his identity to get close and catch them. He was said to be so lawful he even caught and turned in his own son, Ben Reeves, for murder. Bass Reeves became the first black deputy marshal west of the Mississippi, but once Oklahoma became a state, he lost his job because the state's new laws prevented him from being a deputy marshal despite his long service to the state. Today, people still remember this legendary lawman who continues to inspire many stories and ideas of the old Wild West. Next, we have Bill Pickett from Texas, who became one of the most famous rodeo stars. Born to former slaves, he dropped out of school to work at the ranch and ultimately gained fame for his ability to catch stray cows, which he learned from observing cattle dogs. He would imitate the dogs by using his hands to bite the lips of cows, and this bulldogging or steer wrestling method brought him many viewers when he joined the Miller Brothers' 101 Wild Ranch show. 40 years after his death in 1972, he became the first black person to be inducted into the National Rodeo Hall of Fame, and rodeos still use his method in shows and competitions today. Similar to Bill Pickett, Nate Love was another big rodeo star in his day and became one of the most famous black cowboys thanks to his storytelling abilities. Born into slavery on the property of Robert Love, Nate Love was taught by his father how to read despite laws against blacks becoming literate. This later helped Nate to write his own book about his life. As a teenager, he worked a lot of jobs to help support his family when they were freed, and found out he had a knack for taming and working with horses. This knack ultimately got him a job at Duval Ranch after he tamed the wildest horse they owned. He was eventually promoted to cattle buyer and was sent to Mexico for work so many times he even learned to speak Spanish. After winning all the sections of a big cowboy competition, he gained the nickname Deadwood Dick after a popular book character of the time. He continued working at ranches where he loved being respected for his skills, but after the invention of the train and barbed wire fence, unfortunately the need for cowboys declined. Nate settled in California where he had a family and became the first African American cowboy to write about the Old West when he published his memoir. Today you can actually still find his memoir being sold on places like Amazon. There's so many more black cowboys out there in the past and in the present, but that's all we have for today. We hope you enjoyed today's segment on black cowboys.
Hello, this is Shane with the latest news. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars is one of the most viral moments of last year, and one we will never forget. Due to that situation last year, the Academy is putting a crisis team to make sure something like that never happens again. Bill Kramer, the CEO of the Academy Awards, said that we've run many scenarios, so it is our hope that we will be prepared for anything that we may not anticipate right now, but that we're planning for just in case it does. He doesn't really go in depth about these scenarios, but I have a few suggestions. Give the comedians hosting the Oscars some pepper spray. They need it most because they're the one making all the jokes to their audience. But in reality, I doubt we will see anything like that again at an event like the Oscars, because they also banned Will 10 years after that. In other news, DreamWorks' How to Train Your Dragon is getting a live-action movie coming in 2025. Now, I hate being negative here, but why would they do this? Didn't they learn from all those Disney remakes that these movies don't really work as well in live action? Imagine if Toy Story was live action. Or even worse, Shrek. You see what I mean? I can already tell Toothless is gonna look just as scary. But for all that I know, the live action route could work. Just look at the Sonic movies that came out recently. But I would rather see a fourth How to Train Your Dragon movie. That being said, the movie comes out on March 14th, 2025. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to see it or not. That is all for me today. Have a great day.
This is Kim.
Hi, this is Sally.
Hello, this is Tracy.
This is Shane.
And thanks for watching
SmartFoxTV.
Stay
Stay foxy.